It is currently May 25th, 2020. It is Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day. I was out here doing some more vacuuming. And while I was doing that, someone in the neighborhood had a trumpet and played taps. And I thought that was very, very nice. And I stopped what I was doing and listened to that. And that was great. But anyway, back to the pool. It looks a little bit murky. And the reason why is because I just vacuumed the slanty sides. So you see all the watermelon stripes because you can't get everything. Whatever the vacuum doesn't get gets kicked into the water, so that's why it's a bit cloudy. We had vacuumed the whole floor of the pool, and that's all good. Water's on yet again. And today I decided I was going to hook my gallanometer, I don't know, gallon meter up to it. And I'll flip the video so you can see it. 414.1.2.3. I just want to point out that I find it very interesting how the meter says save a drop when I'm clearly not. This day alone, I ended up putting in 1,000 gallons into the pool. Around these parts, that goes for about $10. Oh, and in case you're curious, when the meter reaches 1,000 gallons, it just rolls back around to zero. It's been on for, I don't know, hour and change now. Hour and 10 minutes, hour and 15. But I made a lot of headway with all that thick, dark green that was there. But you see, the problem is, I end up in the corner right here. That I can't get with the vacuum. It's just impossible. Also along here, pretty much impossible to get. So you got to have the right tool for the right job. I do apologize about the screaming bastard kids in the background, but unfortunately there's nothing I can do about that. Here's my regular vacuum. Hooks onto your standard pole. Your hose goes on there. Flip it upside down. You can see I was just vacuuming, so there's all kinds of stuff in the brushes here. And the idea is, of course, that it scrubs while there's suction over here. So what it scrubs, theoretically, with a nice rubber seal against the floor, you're only sucking up what it scrubs. It never works that way, of course, but you get the general idea. But it's too big. I can't, even with this corner, you know, what are you going to get? A couple of bristles in there? Maybe? It's too big to get that. So there's ways out. One is to use your standard brush. And what that's going to do is it's going to loosen all the green, and it's going to suspend that in the water in the hopes that it will get filtered out. I don't want to put any more crap into the filter that I don't have to, so I'd rather vacuum to waste. So it's a matter of the right tool for the job, which is this. This is a small vacuum brush. These bristles are already screwed up. That's nice. First time I'm actually using this. Pretty stiff bristles, but they're a little bit long in my opinion. And if you look in there, there's holes where the water will go through. Allegedly this can turn and you can adjust how much flow you get through it if you wanted. But with this, if you don't have leaves, really, because that's just going to clog up in here and it's going to be a mess. It's not going to go through those tiny little holes in there. So for non-leaves, this is a great thing to have. I got this thing on Amazon last year, maybe the year before, I can't remember. I never used it. I think I got it 2 years ago, never used it, and decided to try it. Oh man, what a game changer. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So now watch. Getting the corner here, which I don't think you can see. Maybe down here. And yeah, it's going to kick stuff up into the water, which is why it got cloudy. But eventually that will filter out. So that should give you an idea. Let me stop and wait for the water to clear a little. So now you should be able to see what I did compared to what I didn't. All with that little brush. Now, of course, the one that I got, as you see here, is no longer available on Amazon. Way she goes. But there are many others that are made, some with even cooler colorways, if you're into that. Like an orange and blue, I happen to see, maybe with a bit of gray mixed in. I thought that was a wonderful combination. So you can get these. Super handy for those little corners and crap where you want to vacuum instead of brush. Now you can do both at the same time. It's a matter of having the right tool for the right job. And this is so much more convenient than this, which is way too big for that fine work. So you need a fine brush. A brilliant idea. I've read reviews on these things. Oh, it's no good for leaves. It's not meant for leaves. If there's little particles in the water there, yeah, it'll pick them up. That's not a problem. Little bits like this might be able to get through. You know, all the stuff that's packed in these brushes and that, this kind of stuff should be able to pass through. And that's really it. So I've been having some fun with this one now. And what's next? Well, it almost looks like a pool. That's what's next. What's next is I'm going to carry on as much as I can with the available water that I have and available daylight that I have. With the little brush and pack up, or vac up rather, what I can. And once I do that, then it'll be time to go ahead and get the brush here and brush that stuff into suspension in the water. When it's suspended in the water, that eventually is going to get filtered out. And then it's going to be time to backwash. And then we can put Robot in. Which one is going to come first? I don't know. Probably backwashing, but that will be for a later date. So stay tuned for that in the next video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye. I also wanted to mention, if you see all of that crap there around the main drain, all that greenery there, I took that small brush and just went around it. And man, it took that right off. Just using the regular big brush that I have was like impossible to get that. That little thing on the vacuum hose, man, that just took care of it in one shot. Like I said, an absolute game changer. Take a look in the prescription for a link to one of these type vacuums in case you might be interested for your pool.